wanted to share with you because there's a lot of polarity right now and negativity. I did post something this weekend that, woo, it brought up a lot of comments in Facebook, and unfortunately, it was a letter that I wrote to our governor in Hawaii and mayor, and it brought up so much negativity that the post had to be taken down in the groups. And so it made me think about how to deal with negativity skillfully. And I want to share with you some tools that you can use, just 3 very simple, basic meditation practices, and they're practices that I use too, which is one, starting with intention. Oftentimes, if we want to say something that's true for us or express ourselves, there is that risk of being judged and misunderstood, attacked, made wrong, all of these things. And so every time we go to express ourselves, we're putting ourselves out there. And you can start with an intention. You can say that my intention for putting this out there is X, Y, and Z. I want to communicate from a place of peace. And it's really about coming back to your core intention. So think about what your intention is. If you know that you're going into a charged situation, or you're going to write something or say something that's going to trigger someone, think about your heartfelt intention. What is it that you want? Why do you want to express this? And that can help to really center you and also prepare you to not take on the negativity or the energy that comes back at you if there's backlash. So that's the first tool, is to work with your intention. The second is detachment. If any of you have meditated, you might have learned this practice of just watching the clouds go by in the sky when you have thoughts. And every time your thoughts come up, good or bad, you're just allowing those thoughts to come and go like clouds in the sky. You don't attach yourself to those thoughts. You don't try to push them away. You don't get wrapped up in them. It's almost as if you're watching a movie, or you're just watching the clouds go by in the sky, and you just allow them to go by. And that's a technique you can also do when negative energy is being thrown at you, is just to let that negative energy, like a black cloud, watch it, observe it with detachment, and allow it to go by like a cloud in the sky. You don't have to catch it. You don't have to take it on, internalize it. A lot of times when people are throwing negativity, they don't even know who you are. They're just mostly perceiving you from their level of consciousness. So we all have that right to have our own perceptions and insights and judgments, but we don't have to take that on. So anytime you see that, just allow that to go by, just like a cloud in the sky, and watch it go by. And lastly, you can work with affirmation. So if you are expressing yourself and you get a negative comment or negative feedback, something that's really hurtful or seems damaging, is to understand that people are perceiving from their level of consciousness, perceiving you and your actions. They might not be aware of what your intentions are. And you can say, thank you, but no thank you, and energetically release it. What I often see happening when people get attacked with negativity is that they take it for themselves. It's a personal attack. They allow those words to mark them, to make them less, to diminish them, to silence them, to censor them. And so the key is, in working with negativity, the key is in learning how to work the energy, because you might notice that when you're in a battle or you're dealing with a lot of negative energy, that your energy becomes compromised. You don't feel as free, you don't feel as open, you don't feel as whole. And that's why we can just say no thank you and let it go. Just let it stream by. You don't have to catch it and you literally say no thank you, and you return to your own spaciousness, and you return to your wholeness, and you can even affirm, I am whole. I am always whole. No one that anyone can say about you or to you can ever diminish you. So no one can hurt you or mark you in that way unless you agree and unless you take that on and you internalize that energy. So this is a time that for us all to be mindful about our communications on Facebook, everywhere, because people are highly sensitive, they're deeply triggered, they're afraid. And lastly, I just want to end with the fourth most critical tool, which is compassion. So when you can see people who inflict pain and who inflict negativity and feel the need to attack people or bring them down, really they're crying for help. They're not in a good place themselves. And when you can recognize that and be willing to understand and find compassion and space for people who are suffering and channeling this negativity, you don't even take that energy on at all, because you understand where it's coming from. It's not about you. And oftentimes people who do work in the light or who fight for justice, people like Martin Luther King, Buddha, Jesus, they're all at risk of being attacked, killed even, for fighting for a higher way or fighting for justice. And that's the risk. The thing is there can be risk to expressing yourself and for doing the right thing, but it's worth it. And when you can learn to work with these mindfulness tools, it makes it easier to express yourself. You can express yourself, not take things personally, not take things on.